Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV with your college basketball top 25 video for this Saturday, February the 24th. I'm going to break down the three biggest games in college basketball this Saturday. I'm going to let you know where I think the value is and how you can make some money free for you right here on WagerTalk TV. Just a quick reminder, if you want my official best bets, I've got a strong and deep card this Saturday, as I do each and every Saturday. It's the strongest day of the week for college basketball, over 100 games this weekend. I'm going to pick the spots and make you money, and you better pay attention. I'm ranked number one in college and pro hoops all season long on all side selections, college and pro combined, since the NBA and NCAA season started in October, and we're keeping it rolling with a huge card this Saturday. Single games are 25, or get the multi-pack, 4+ games for just 29. No matter when you're joining us, early or late, plenty of action to get you going this Saturday. By the way, when you're on my page, check out the 7-day and the 365-day specials as well. Promo codes get you instant discounts. I'll have more information here on the video in just a moment. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and bonus free plays every day as well. All right, let's get to the top 25 matchups. Just two true top 25 games for this Saturday, February the 24th. But as always, I'm going to give an additional bonus game at the end, a game that was just a bit outside for making the top 25. So three spotlight games for you here on this video. Let's start with the early game at 12 noon Eastern on CBS National TV. Number 2, Houston traveling to number 11, Baylor. And I like the Bears in this game. I think Baylor is a live home dog. As we check the Wager Talk live odds screen here late on Friday night as I'm recording this video, we'll see that Baylor is catching a basket here on what is somewhat of a strong home court. Their home record this year, maybe not as great as it's been in years past, but they're still a very solid team at home this year, and I think they're continuing to play well here on this home court. In conference games especially, they've been getting it done. Oklahoma win by 17, and they had two road games at West Virginia and BYU, and that recent road game at BYU earlier this week was a loss, so that's an additional reason to like Baylor here in a bounce-back situation. By the way, these teams have not faced each other this season. Since Houston's joined the Big 12, they have not faced each other, but they did play once in the last 10 years, and that was back in the Final Four 3 years ago, April of 2021. And Baylor won that game rather easily, 78-59 as a 5-point neutral court favorite. They won by 19. Now, I'm well aware it's a different lineup, different teams, but the point is they matched up well against that slow-down half-court style against Houston a few years back, and I think they'll match up well again. This line currently 2.5 in most locations, so a little bit more than a basket. We've seen a little bit of money come in the under. It opened 136 down to 135 late Friday night in most locations. Houston, the most efficient defense in the country, ranked number one in the Ken Palms. They're also the number one overall rated team in the Ken Palms, but they're only 16th on offensive efficiency. Baylor is the better offensive team. They're the fourth best offense in the country, but just 90th on defense. That's going to be the key to this game if Baylor can play good defense. And at home, I think they can. In conference games so far this year, they've been shaky at times defensively, but I think they bring their A game, and I like the value with Baylor plus 2.5. I think they actually win this game outright at 12 noon Eastern. All right, the other top 25 matchup is also on CBS National TV on Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern. Number 13, Alabama at number 17, Kentucky. SEC battle, and should it be a high-scoring game? Well, yes, if you look at the over-under line, it should be an extremely high-scoring game. In fact, this total opened Friday afternoon as high as 179.5 in some locations. As of Friday night, it has been bet down to 174.5. Most other books late Friday evening opened around the 175 range, but still an extremely high total for anybody in college basketball, but for good reason. These are two great offensive teams, two suspect defensive teams. In fact, Alabama right now is the number one efficient offense in the Ken Palms out of 362 teams, but only 71st on defense. Kentucky, meanwhile, ninth best offense in the country, only 77th on defense. But keep in mind, just a week ago, Kentucky was outside the top 100, so they have been playing better defensively over the past few games. Spotlight win for them at Auburn last Saturday as an 8.5-point dog, winning by 11, and they held Auburn to just 59 points, which was very impressive, and that is why the defensive rating shot up about 25 to 30 points within a one-week span. But not such a good offensive showing against LSU, and that's why they lost as a 6-point road favorite earlier this week. But I think that loss on Wednesday will actually have them fully focused for this game. Alabama also going to be a little bit shorthanded, it looks like. Keep in mind that they're starting for one of their forwards, Wade, is going to be suspended for one game from the incident on Wednesday, so he's going to be out in this game. And also, they might be playing once again without like a white right cell, their guard. So Alabama could be a little bit weaker offensively. I think that's another reason we've seen that total drop 5 points from the opener. But I don't like to play big totals under, as you know that. So if you're looking at the total, the over would still be my recommendation. And while it might seem high, if you look at recent games in which either one of these teams has had totals at 170 or higher, the Florida game landed at 185. It was 170 before overtime. That total was 171 and a half for Alabama. And surprisingly, that's their only total recently, which has been up in this range. We look at the Kentucky totals. They've been in this territory quite often, the 170 range or more. Landed 174 against Gonzaga a few weeks ago. That was 171 and a half. And once again, if you're going to be playing the Kentucky games under, you're going to have a tough time because they've been routinely getting over these totals. That Florida game was a Kentucky game. I said Alabama. Alabama just played Florida the past game. That also went to overtime, of course, this past Wednesday. That total closed 173. It landed 191 in overtime, and I believe that was 170 also, but at the end of regulation. So these teams routinely can get to that 170 range. As far as the side in this game, I do favor Kentucky against maybe a shorthanded Alabama squad. I think we're going to look back in a month or so and say maybe this was the time, late February, we should have been buying Kentucky. And I know they had a little bit of a flat showing against LSU. I think that was a hangover after the great showing against Auburn. Kentucky had lost 3 straight games at home earlier this season, and they were on the way to losing their 4th, but they've righted the ship. And I think at home here, laying the short numbers to play. I know they didn't lead against Tennessee a few weeks ago, but Tennessee, a much better defensive team than Alabama. Kentucky can play against mediocre defensive teams. 2 really good offenses, 2 mediocre defenses. I favor Kentucky at home on Saturday afternoon. Now, those are the 2 true top 25 matchups, both on CBS National TV. You got to dig a little bit deeper for you and find another game with just a bit outside the top 25. In fact, Virginia was a top 25 team until they lost to Virginia Tech this past Monday. They have fallen to number 26. They're the first team in the additional votes. If they pull the upset here at home against North Carolina, they will be ranked again, in my opinion, next week. So we're going to look at number 10, North Carolina, at number 26, Virginia. That's also at 4 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. And this is all about tempo. North Carolina, always one of the faster tempo teams in the country. Virginia always plays extremely slow. And in fact, they are the slowest team in the country. 362 Division I teams, and their pace of play ranks 362. So they are the slowest team in college basketball. And tempo is going to be the key to this game. And everyone knows how great Virginia is defensively. They're the 9th most efficient defense, but they're not even in the top 150 in offense. Their offense has been a problem this year. North Carolina, meanwhile, a very balanced attack, 10th on offense, or 18th on offense, but 10th on defense. A lot of people will be surprised to see North Carolina has a more efficient defense than offense. So that's one of the reasons we've seen some money come in on the under from the opening number, and I agree with that move. It opened 132.5 Friday afternoon, and by late Friday night, it's down to 130.5, even 130. I like the under in this game, and if you like the under, that probably favors Virginia. A slower half-court game would favor the Cavaliers here. And by the way, Virginia is 7-3 straight up the last 10 times they've played North Carolina, yet they're just 3-7 against the spread because they've normally been favored. Now they're a home dog against UNC, a team that they've been able to frustrate with that half-court slowdown style. The line opened 1.5. It's actually up to 2 now in most spots. I don't agree with that move. I think Virginia's a live dog. By the way, tough beat for my clients last Saturday afternoon. We had Virginia -3. They held Wake Forest to 47 points. You told me a 3-point favorite was going to hold their opponent to 47. You probably would have loaded up on it even more. They ended up winning by just 2, 49-47, which once again goes back to my point about them having a weak offense. But it was a misleading 2-point win because they were just 1 for 11 from the free throw line, not the 3-point line, the free throw line, including a 90% shooter missing some shots. So that was a tough beat. Virginia should have covered that game last Saturday, and we actually played against them on Monday. My top best bet Monday for my clients was Virginia Tech, 4.5-point favorite, routed them by over 30. They did have trouble with Virginia Tech's physicality, and that is a concern against UNC, who put up over 50 points in the paint against Virginia Tech this week. But once again, I think off the bad loss, one of the best coaches in the country with almost a full week to prepare. Tony Bennett has his troops ready to play. Virginia and the under definitely looks correlated in this game at 4 o'clock Eastern. All right, those are the 3 biggest matchups in college basketball this Saturday. Just 2 true top 25 games, but I gave you that 3rd bonus game, obviously, here on the video as well. Don't forget, though, if you want my official best bets, my strongest plays, get that 4-for-1 special for just $29. Individually, they're each $25, or get the 4-for-1 special for $29. No matter when you're joining us, the best bets are loaded instantly and emailed to you as a direct client. In fact, they went out on Friday evening, almost a full day before the games are played for some of them. the clients get them right away. So it's another reason to be a direct subscriber, so you don't have to keep checking the page to see when the plays are loaded. And if you want to try the 7-day all access, I do have that 7-day special I talked about earlier at the top of the video. Instant 25% discount on a 7-day all access. It gets you every pro basketball and college basketball play for 7 days and nights. Works out to just about $10 a day. Or the big boy, the best deal is what I made at the beginning of the year in January. I told everyone to get on board for 2024. Well, if you've done so, you've been making some money. I'm ranked number 1 in all sports combined, all sides, football and basketball so far in 2024 units 1. And it's no surprise, I'm ranked number 1 in 2022 and 2023 all sports combined, baseball, football, and basketball. So it's not too late to take a serious long-term investment approach. I'm bringing the 365-day all-access special back. Promo code SM365 on my page this weekend. Works out to just over $3 a day. That's just over $1 a play for every football, baseball, basketball best bet for the next 365 days and nights. Promo codes, full details on my page right now. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Get there quicker with the shortcut you see on your screen, wt.buzz/SM. And while you're there, be sure to check out those daily free plays. You know, I have a huge card this Saturday, but the last game that misses the cut is always the free play I put up each and every day. And during the week, I sometimes have just 1 or 2 best bets for my clients, which means those free plays are pretty strong as well. It's a great way to build your bankroll, some additional action for you to build that bankroll for free. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. But be sure to check out the huge Saturday college basketball best bet card today. And more importantly, get those promo codes. If you want to start small, try the 7-day. But if you're ready to take a serious investment approach for the next year, get the full year, the 365 special for just over $1 a play. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Once again, get there quicker, wt.buzz/SM. Comment below. I read all the comments here on YouTube. Let me know who you like this Saturday in college basketball. Hey, look, we're talking top 25 on this video, but throw in some of those mid-major, under-the-radar small college games. I'd love to see those in the chat. Comment below. I read them all. I reply back. Include some analysis. Let's learn and earn and win together here on Wager Talk TV. Found the video useful? Give it a thumbs up, a like, and don't forget, hit subscribe and hit the bell for instant alerts so you know when those free play videos go up throughout the week for both college and pro basketball, and when this top 25 video goes up each Saturday. I'll be on Wager Talk Last Call Saturday morning live at 11 a.m. Eastern, and then archived throughout the day here on the channel for some last-minute college basketball tips and advice. And don't forget, also follow me on Twitter at Steve Merril, 2 R's, 1 L, at Steve Merril on Twitter and X. And also follow me on Instagram. I post free plays on IG throughout the week as well. Stay tuned here to Wager Talk TV for more great content, Saturday college basketball videos, Last Call as well. Enjoy the games, and I'll talk to you again soon.